Good morning. Brian of London here in my car because my usual coffee place in the forest was shut. Obviously too much rain the last few days. We've had absolutely epic 50-year maximum rain. Huge flooding all over the place. Actually pretty horrible scenes and some dead people. Very, very unfortunate, but we need the rain always. The Kinneret is filling up. More than 20 centimeters in a single day, yesterday or the day before. So yeah, the rain sticks really hit us. Anyway, so a couple of topics today. I might even split this video in two. I'm Brian of London. Usually I give these talks from the forest, but I'm in my car next to the forest. Tommy Robinson. Let's talk about Tommy. I haven't talked about Tommy for a while. Tommy was on British television last night, ITV. An ITV documentary filmed by this guy, Ross Kemp, who pretends to be a hard guy and does, I don't know, journalism, I think, about gangs. And anyway, he was inside HMP Belmarsh. And I would say about a third of last night's programme centred around Tommy Robinson. And because that was where Tommy was sent. A few interesting points. One, on the day of his sentencing, Belmarsh seemed to know that he was coming there. I mean, they were doing planning meetings 3 or 4 hours before the verdict, or before the sentence was announced. So they obviously had some kind of warning that he was definitely going to a custodial sentence. Remember, he'd already served for the same activity. He'd already served the year before. He'd served in only time related to this live streaming outside a court, and so he had already served a longer and harsher sentence than anybody has ever served for that kind of civil contempt of court. But Belmarsh, the Britain's maximum security, highest category prison, they knew he was coming there before he did. That's nice. Doesn't sound like a government stitch up to me. And then a lot of people are conflating. Tommy said this in a video he put out this morning. A lot of people are conflating. Tommy served 2 prison sentences for the same offence, because the first time he went to prison was this kangaroo court that was over in half an hour, and he was sent straight to first Hull and then moved to Onley. And it was in Onley where he was literally put in an isolation room with a mat on the floor for the first few days, and that's where he had trouble with food. He didn't have enough money, he couldn't trust the food that was given to him. The conditions in Belmarsh, on the other hand, he had a room, he had television, you could see he had food, and basically the governor at Belmarsh did everything right, and Tommy has thanked him profusely ever since he got out. But you're confusing two things. The only reason he was treated so well in Belmarsh could possibly be because he made such a stink about Onley, and because there was this demonstration just after he was put inside, organised by Danny, and you know, Ross Kemp tried to make this about that demonstration, and maybe it would turn violent and stuff, but it didn't turn violent. So, you know, in the same program, when you're discussing that something might happen, but then when you show that it didn't, all Ross Kemp, there was just a voiceover that Ross Kemp said, and the protest was broken up by the police. Well, no, it wasn't. It just went home. There was no violence, because had there been violence, Ross Kemp and his cameras would have been there to capture it, and the hero would have shown how bad Tommy's supporters are instead of just normal people. So, you know, you can see the stitch up in what they don't show. And for Ross Kemp to argue that solitary confinement is somehow better because you have a television, the issue with solitary confinement is the taking you away from socialization, from not having people to talk to, from not having contact with other human beings. That is what does you in solitary. That's the torture of solitary confinement. And Ross Kemp sort of dismissed that and downplayed that arsehole for doing that. That's for sure. But all in all, and there was a very interesting point that when this fake news came out. I think it was I can't remember. I think it was was it the Mirror? I can't remember which newspaper was the first that broke the story with that Tommy was beaten up by a 70-year-old in the showers for being, that story. When that story came out, the governor came straight to Tommy's cell with the film cameras and basically said to Tommy, can you defuse this? Can you defuse this for me? Which indicates that they know that Tommy's got a large audience out there. I mean, they absolutely do, and he does. And we did. Avi put out a video quite quickly. We spread that on Telegram. Obviously, Tommy's reach appears to be lower because his Facebook and Twitter were taken away. But the message got out. But it didn't get out, of course, to all the dumb schlubs who read the mainstream media and believe their lies. I think there's still an action in progress, actually, over that fake news report. But it was good that it was in the program there with the warden, the governor of the entire prison, coming straight to Tommy's cell and confirming this never happened. This report in a major UK newspaper and then picked up by other major UK newspapers is a total fabrication and a lie. And had the newspaper called the governor of the prison for comment to say, did this happen? He would have told them this did not happen. And then they would have had to go back and review their sources to say, well, how are we printing rubbish like this? But they don't care. They don't care. It sold some newspapers, made Tommy look bad. That's it. That's all that's all they need to do. And it's very important that is done over and over again, because people might listen to Tommy Robinson. And if they listen to Tommy Robinson, they might actually understand what's been going on in Britain and what he's been talking about for all these years. Anyway, that's enough. Well done, Tommy. I think you came out of that as well as can be expected for someone locked up for crap, for what should never be a crime in the UK. That's for sure.